Rudy Rodriguez-Chomat from Synergy Settlements, Director of Strategic Partnerships over there. I'm thrilled to have you in the office. Tell us some of the different liens that you all handle that you help get lawyers. You help lawyers get those liens reduced in personal injury cases.
Well, thank you for having me, Eric. I greatly appreciate it. We handle ERISA liens, Medicare, AB, Medicare Advantage, Medicaid, MCO and HMO plans, FEBA, VA, TRICARE, and we also do hospital bills as well and other medical bills.
All right, so you have like the litany of different liens that you guys help other personal injury lawyers get reduced. And for me, whenever I hear Medicare or ERISA, my ears perk up and I say, these can tend to be complicated. Do you guys handle those like as a specialty, like Medicare and ERISA?
Absolutely.
And, you know, we've worked together before. Yes. And that's why I invited you over here, because I was just thrilled with your team's accomplishments on cases that I've had, right? I mean, I remember we had one case, what was it? It was like a $250,000 lien that your team got reduced down to like $6,000.
It was the first one we worked on.
It
was exceptional. Yeah, it was a great result. We were very happy with that result for you.
So, you know, tell, I guess, the personal injury lawyers that are watching that have Medicare liens, like what kind of team do you guys have over at Synergy that lawyers can send these liens to you and you guys are going to work on it to get them reduced?
So we have over 100 people within Synergy, over 20 attorneys on staff. They lead all of our departments. We have a team that's built of people that worked at Rawlings, Conduit, the different lien holders, with over 250 years of combined lien experience from the other side. So they know the ins and outs of what is going on within those walls. They bring that to our side and now use that against their former employers.
And listen, you know, whenever you think about that, someone who switches sides and they know the ins and outs, Medicare for me, and I'm sure you hear this from other lawyers, but Medicare can be extremely complicated. I've seen that Medicare bundles together charges that are totally unrelated to the injuries, and they try to charge the clients. Do you see that, I guess, in your experience?
All the time. And that is one of the major components of what we do with our Medicare reductions is getting those unrelated matters off of there, because yeah, they will submit a bill to you and it'll have a whole bunch of things if they were going for medical treatment for other stuff, and now they're trying to include that in that bill. And that's one of the reasons why when we send out our intake packages, we ask for what the any pre-existing conditions were, what the injuries were specifically, and we need to know the specific injuries, because if you say it's a shoulder injury and they throw in something from an ankle, well, that's clearly unrelated. So we need to know that. And that's one of the main things that we're able to get taken care of, is get those unrelated off. And then there's other types of arguments within Medicare with financial arguments, with hardships for your clients, etc.
I find it, and I know that there are personal injury lawyers, medical malpractice lawyers, whatever type of lawyer who are representing the patients, the clients, the people that have been injured. There's no way that they understand CPT coding and all the different itemized billing practices that Medicare pays for compared to a company like Synergy, who's an expert in that, right? And do you guys have teams over at Synergy that understand how to look at the CPT codes, kind of tease them out, and then submit those that essentially the argument that these are unrelated and they need to be removed? Oh,
absolutely, definitely. They know every code in the book. So, I mean, we have one of our top Medicare lien experts. I mean, if she tells me that there is no reduction possible on something, that means there's no reduction possible on something, because she's been working specifically with Medicare cases for well over 10 years, and she knows it inside and out.
And this is also something that personal injury lawyers who are dealing with Medicare liens, because like I said, my clients have benefited so much from having the Synergy team help out with some of these Medicare liens. And it wasn't only these were some clients who we had to pay the demand that Medicare was owed. Like, I think there was a recent case, we paid Medicare close to $50,000 from our client's settlement. Yes. And then we reached out to you and said, hey, can you guys do anything? After all the funds were dispersed, you guys took the lien and you got it reduced to, she got a refund of like $48,000.
Yeah, that's our Medicare refund program. Most attorneys don't even know that it exists.
I mean, that like everyone, so just explain to the lawyers out there, give a thumbnail sketch. What is the Medicare refund program that you guys run over at Synergy?
So basically, as anything, you are very busy. And most times people will look for the case that can be completed most quickly. And if they're, so what happens is if you get hit with a final demand by Medicare, you have to pay it.
Yep.
And it could be for any various reasons. It could be that the insurance company reported something quicker than you expected, and now you have, oh my God, a final demand popped up. You have to pay it. So what we do is we go back and we get we no different than what we do on if we get it before there's a final demand. We argue and get unrelated removed. We get a refund back, and we're only compensated if we get a refund back. And we're successful on getting refunds back probably 90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, so for anyone who's watching, the Medicare system is complicated. And so if you have a client that has Medicare, they're getting their medical bills paid, you have to put Medicare on notice, number one. There's a process to do that. The portal gets opened up on their website, and sometimes there's two different things that can happen. One, you can just ask for the final amount to Medicare, and if you put some of the settlement information in there, they will take it as a final demand, and they will send you the bill that needs to be paid back. And you have, 60 days, I think? 60 or 90 days. I forget what the time frame is off the top of my head. If you don't pay that Medicare demand back within that time frame, interest starts accruing on it. And that's interest that you may not have in your trust account. You don't have in the trust account because it's not accounted for related to the case. So I've seen times where, just like you said, an insurance company who has reporting obligations will report the claim to Medicare. They send the final demand. You have that time starts ticking to pay it. Or you submit something and Medicare sends you the demand, and you have to get that. You have to send them money. And what I've seen, and we've worked together in the past, is we get Medicare the money. Because we have to. And in my view, we've looked at it, it looks like they're related. But I've sent you these Medicare liens like that, and you've got them reduced in a refund. Are those the scenarios that you guys handle, that if Medicare has been paid, you guys will take a second look at it and say, let's see if there's things that are unrelated that we can unbundle?
Definitely. Yeah, we will take a look at it. And if we don't see that there can be anything done, we'll let you know, of course. There's no fee for that.
Yeah.
Our fee is based on success. So we have the skin in the game to be successful. If we are not successful, you do not have a fee.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the thing is some lawyers who are out there that are listening, that are watching this, they need to understand, I guess from your perspective, there's money that's being left on the table that could be given to the client that's going to help the client, because that Medicare bill, or even if it's private health insurance lien, whatever it may be, there's more room for reduction, at least getting a second look at it.
Absolutely. And see, here's the thing. The reality is we can also, like anything, you'd rather get the case first than get it from another attorney after the fact. And we would rather take it from the beginning, because in terms of with Medicare specifically, we can open all these things up we can go into the portal, open the case up for you in the portal. We can monitor it all the way through the case so that we can actually get it resolved more quickly at the end. And that goes for for an ERISA plan as well, as there are all kind of leverage arguments. There is a $110 fine if they do not respond to the documents that we request within 30 days. So we create leverage against the lien holder on ERISA plans as well. So getting it earlier to us is more beneficial, as it allows us to get the greatest reduction for you. But in the event that you do try to resolve something yourself first, and you get to a certain point and you find yourself hitting a wall and you want to bring us on, we can take over from that point that you left off, and that's where our fee would start, from that number that you left off at. Yeah. So it wouldn't be like we took it from the beginning. We took it from where you left off, and if we get more money off, then there's a fee. If we don't, then there isn't. I can tell you that I've been with Synergy now for 3.5 years. I have never seen us not get an additional reduction after a law firm sent us a case that they tried to reduce themselves first.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just a clear benefit to the client. That's going to end up being extra money in their pocket. And had the lawyer just dispersed the money, paid the lien, client would have ended up with X amount of money, right? But now, if they would have sent it to you, the fee on the reduction of lien is only the difference between, I guess, where the lawyer got it to, and then what Synergy got it to, whatever. There's a percentage in that between number.
Correct. So our fee is 15% of the reduction or 15% of the net to your client. So we do handle upside down situations as well, where people will sit here and say, I can't even take this case because I have $100,000 in bills, but I have a $25,000 settlement. And I'll have people call me and say, can I take this case? Yes, we can get it reduced, and we will get it reduced, and we have gotten it reduced. So there isn't a problem there for us in getting those reductions. On the other side, if you have a larger settlement with a smaller lien, and you have a client who, of course, this is firm by firm, and it's whatever the firm chooses to do, you can do a partial disbursement if you want to, hold money in trust while we reduce, and then 6 months later, 4 months later, call your client and says, we have another check for you.
Yeah.
And they'll love you for life.
Listen, I had that just the other day where there was a Medicare refund where a client, I thought the case was done, didn't think there was anything that we can do. It was one of those situations where I think the settlement was reported, and we got the demand, we had to give the money over. When I look at the bills, I'm like, listen, it says it's all related to it looks like it's all related. You guys got a massive refund back for that client, and she was thrilled, So, I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job over there. And I think a lot of lawyers don't understand the complexity of Medicare. And I've been bitten by it, in my experience, and you have to be very careful. And that's why it's always good to bring in a consultant like Synergy. So you guys prefer to be brought in earlier on in the case.
Absolutely. Yeah, the earlier we can be brought on, the better, because there are leverage points, and it can actually expedite. It sets up the negotiations, and it can expedite the process and make it a little bit more quick. It's a little bit more quickly done.
Yeah.
Whereas the average is 90 to 120 days. Maybe we can get it done in less than 90 days. And I have seen them get done in less than 90 days, but it just depends on when we brought in on the case. Because sometimes we do get reductions prior to settlement with ERISA liens specifically, because we're asked to. However, sometimes it's used as you don't want us to reduce it because you want to use that as a way to make the settlement larger naturally. But whichever you prefer, we are happy to do. One thing I did want to circle back on the Medicare refund, and as it is Christmas time, Hanukkah, or whatever anyone celebrates, is if you've paid over $10,000 to Medicare on a final demand, it doesn't matter how many years you go back, you can still potentially get a refund. So for any attorney who has a Medicare case in which they paid over $10,000 in a final demand, we have a letter if you want to send it to your former clients. So this might take a little time to dig through files. It's better than any Christmas card on earth, because if you send that letter and they say, it costs them nothing for us to try. And it doesn't cost you a dime, a stamp on the letter. And if we come back and get a refund on that case that maybe was 4 or 5 years ago, and they get a new check in their pocket for whatever amount of money, you can't beat that in terms of referrals.
Absolutely, no doubt. That sounds like.
And there isn't a statute from what that we're aware of.
Wow. So if any lawyers had a client that had a settlement and they paid Medicare over $10,000, send it over to Synergy Settlements. You guys will do the analysis. It doesn't cost. The only way that you get paid is if you get a reduction and the client gets a refund. Correct. So it's just a pure benefit. Correct. Yeah, that's outstanding. So let's change topics real quickly. We'll talk about ERISA. ERISA is one of those areas of the law that, again, lawyers, whenever you hear that there's an ERISA policy, in my experience and from the case law, ERISA is really supposed to be paid back dollar for dollar under most circumstances, if not all. So are those also liens that you guys will look into to get reduced?
Yes. So we average 56% reduction on ERISA liens. Now that's a combination of there's two types of ERISA liens: the self-funded plans, which are the ones that are covered by documents, not by state law, and the fully insured plans, which are basically smaller companies that go to Blue Cross or Aetna or and everything comes directly through them. Whereas for people that don't understand self-funded, it means like it's an American Airlines situation or Costco. They have thousands of employees. They pay into a pot, and the documents dictate that they get paid back in full. Our team has seen all these documents. They know exactly what page, where to look, what word. And it can be something as simple as one word. And you know that from, must or shall. Yeah. You can throw 1,000 things into must or shall. And that could be the difference in plan documents being bad or good. Some plans A 20% reduction on a self-funded plan is an excellent reduction.
Sure.
And if you as a law firm have 2 years to keep going after it, then by all means, you could probably get there at some point, but it's going to take a while. And for law firms, you don't have the time to spend. So, I mean, I know of firms that spend 3-4 hours a day just dealing with reductions on a daily basis.
It could be a nightmare.
Multiple case managers doing the same thing all day long. And that takes away from revenue generation for law firms. So what 20% on, let's say, for example, Wells Fargo is considered one of the most difficult self-funded ERISA plans. A 20% reduction with them would be considered good. There are other plans, though, where 60% would be considered good. So it all depends on the plan. But our average with self-funded plans is around 40%. Our average on fully insured plans is about 75%. And fully insured plans is those types of plans are ones in which if you make a phone call and they give you a fees and cost reduction like that, there's a lot more money to be had. So don't take that as the final offer. Don't be the golden goose, as one of my lien experts calls it. So because they all make commission at Rawlings.
Oh, do they?
Rawlings, all those lien experts inside of those different lien holders, they all get paid commission.
So people need to understand this, right? So a lot of times, and for the people that are watching, personal injury lawyers, we reach out to. We don't actually speak to the insurance company. They have an administrator and a company. There's a company called Rawlings, and we deal with a claim handler at Rawlings to get the lien reduced. And the less reduction that they give you, the more that claim handler is going to get a commission.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See
They're
that?
Totally incentivized.
But that's insane. Like in a perfect world, they would just get the bills reduced for you. They would give you the reduction that they're supposed to give you, so the client gets their money, but they don't. And to me, I think it's unscrupulous, to be honest. I think it's not right how they handle it. But it's great that we have people like Synergy that are able to help out, jump in. So as far as people getting in touch with you to contact you about Medicare, Medicaid, ERISA, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can email me at rchomat@synergysettlements with an S at the end.com, or you can call me at 954-655-8205. That's 954-655-8205. You can also find me on Instagram. Yeah. I'm always posting on your fruit vlogs and on now your Wagyu vlogs, which I don't know you can eat a regular steak ever again.
I don't think I can. Okay, after having a Wagyu steak. What's the handle on Instagram?
It's Rudy_Synergy_South Florida. I know I can provide it too if you want to throw it on the bottom of whatever post.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate it. This is fantastic. I think you're a huge resource to the legal community, a incredible resource for clients to be able to get more money back in their pockets, because that is really our job. Our ultimate job is to help our clients recover physically and financially after an accident. And the more that we can get in their pocket, I know it's going to help them relieve the financial burdens that they're going through after an accident. So thrilled to have you, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you again. And yes, let me thank you one more time, because when we did the video a few months back, that was so appreciated. And I will admit I got like 5 new clients from that video.
Really?
So I greatly appreciate it. And I thank you so much.